Alright, I just received the Wild at Heart levers, which I will be installing, so let's show you what comes with it. It's amazing. That's the bag there. They're pretty pricey, but I had them on a 1250 and they're absolutely amazing for control. Anyway, a couple of stickers. Don't worry about the stickers too much. Thank you. Yep. So these are the levers. You get a left and right. You can get black or silver. I got black just because that's what comes with the black now. It is for a 1300GS. Different from 1250, so you can't use the 1250 levers, they're different. 1250 are significantly cheaper. Oh, I need scissors to open this. Stand by. Okay, got the scissors. By the way, these come from South Africa. They're made in South Africa. And Johan is a really good guy to talk to and work with. Yeah, beautifully done. You got a bit of texture on the top. Very nicely done, but brilliant two-finger levers. So we'll be installing them. You will be reusing the sleeves from the old lever and the parts from the old lever. So we'll go through that at the install, but very, very nicely done. Anyway, we'll do the install next. So to install the levers, it looks like we need to remove the guard because the bolt for the levers, this one here, needs to sit underneath the handguard. So this handguard here, so it's in there. So we'll need to remove it. So I'll see if I probably need to loosen this hand bolt and then remove my, if you have the standard mirrors, remove the mirrors, or I've got the double takes. So I'm gonna remove the mount and that will pop off. Maybe I don't even need to remove the end because this plastic is fairly flexible to get to that bolt. From what I can see on both sides, that's all that needs to be removed to get to the levers, but we'll see. All right, so once you remove the mirror, which is unscrew the mirror, this comes off. And you've got, actually it's quite dense, these are the original guards. You can easily get to that Torx screw. It's a Torx 25. And underneath, it's that one there. Oh, let me get it in zoom. It's an 8mm nut. So what you need is an 8mm spanner and a Torx 25. And that screw comes off, loosens very easily, and that should allow us to remove the lever, which I'll go through next. Okay, once you undo this nut, it's a nylock nut, the 8mm nylock nut, and what you need to do is just tap this out. Now when you tap it out, just be careful for the lever. Hold the lever as you tap slowly. It comes out easy. But tap it out with a hammer slowly, just a little bit, and then we'll come off. All right, so when you pull that bolt out, the lever won't come out. It won't fall out. There's actually no spring in there. But you do need to just pull that lever out, and that it comes out. That's it. Okay, so here's the lever. we need to punch out that sleeve, and I think there is a little pin or a spring in behind here. That's why I'm doing it on the table. Make sure you don't lose that so it doesn't pop out, right? So I've got 2 pieces of wood, and I'm just going to put the lever and an 8mm drill, and that should, you know, just tap that out sort of slowly. So let's see, where's my hammer? There it goes. Got a coffee to go along with it. All right, let's see how this works out. Yeah, very easy. Comes out very easily. Oh, there you go. It's popped out. So there is a spring behind there. Turn that around. There's a sleeve and there's a spring. A spring right in there, so just make sure you do it on the table. That sleeve comes out. We'll reuse that. And then this whole part we'll need to use. Alright, put that aside, and then there is this spring. Yeah, that sits in that hole. So I'll need to use the spring. Then we'll also need to, how does this baby come out? I need to use this. How does this come out? Oh yeah, it just falls out like that. Okay, I get it. Okay, so just jiggle it around and it falls out. So we'll clean that up a little bit, but these are all the parts from the old lever that we'll need to use in the new lever. So it's the BMW Enduro pack. What's the difference? Let's see. Not much in terms of the size, but this one just works a lot better. It doesn't pinch the other 2 fingers. If you're using 2 fingers, you don't have that end. I don't know, I just love these levers. They're so comfortable, they work so well. So anyway, that's how you dismantle the original lever, and then we'll just go and put everything back into this, which I'll do next, and fit it back on the bike. Alright, I've cleaned the parts. A bit dusty, so they go back in the reverse order, the way we've taken them out of the original lever. So you just wiggle this one in, and then the spring goes, I don't know if you can see inside that hole, so we'll chuck the spring in there into that seat. And I remember this was a pain, trying to push all this back in. So that, you can see the little sort of mark from the spring, so that goes on top of the spring, and then I think push this lever all the way to forward. I think it might be easier. Let me see. Yeah, it might be easier to push the spring in, and then we need to push the spring in. This is a pain in the ass. Oh. All right, I worked it out. I think what I did is I put the sleeve in just in the first through the lever in the first section, and basically I can't show you here. Let me see. Basically, I just put it against the wood, apply some pressure as I'm pushing this in. It's not through the whole way yet. There it is, and it slipped in. That's it, back to normal. And then this is the adjustment, so that all works. So that's the lever completed. Just now goes back in the bike, and Bob's your uncle. Job done. But the only fiddly thing is really just that getting that sleeve in. It's not hard. It just, you need to fiddle with it. That's it. Putting the lever back in is just the reverse process of what we did to take it out. So that goes in there. You push it. Where is it? Can you see it? Yeah, you push it in until you hear a click. There you go. And then you just put this bolt back in through the top, nut down the bottom, nylock nut down the bottom, and job done. Right, so it goes through here. Bloody hard to do with one hand, isn't it? No, I need two hands for this. All right, the lever's in. So two fiddly bits. Getting that little sleeve back into the lever, because you got to press the spring, hold it in place and slide the sleeve in. Second fiddly bit is getting this bolt, this one here, through. So you have to jiggle the lever to get the bolt to push all the way through, so you can put this nut back on. Come on, zoom in. Why isn't it zooming in? Anyway, this is that 8mm nut, and the lever's back. Right, works fine. The adjuster works fine too. So, yep, all good. All right, that's it. And I'll do the other side. The brake should be the same process. I'll report if it isn't, but I think it's exactly the same process. That's it. All right, the right hand side lever is exactly the same. So getting this sleeve back in, fiddly. Not hard, but fiddly. You do need to muck around with it. In the end, I couldn't get it through this completely, so I had to get like a screwdriver and just move the screwdriver sort of around while I was applying pressure, and then popped out. So don't force it, don't smash it in. I think it slides in nicely. Just, I think it requires a bit of patience, sometimes hard. So, but it's exactly the same, and it'll go back in to the bike exactly the same as the one on the left, no difference. So that pops back in, and then you get this bolt back in from the top, and the nylock nut on the bottom, and job done. All right, if anyone's doing this, hopefully this helps. Okay, job done. Both Wild at Heart levers have been installed. Here's the brake lever and the clutch lever. The installation process the same for both. A couple of fiddly bits, but nothing hard. I think in total it took me about half an hour to install. I just love these levers. It's personal preference. I mean, the trophy cars with these enduro levers, but I just find the Wild at Heart really good. These enduro levers were still sort of catching the other two fingers on the bar. Good levers. There's nothing against the levers. It's just those Wild at Heart are really good. So, and I'm not sponsored by Wild at Heart at all. So all you really need is, as I said, is don't worry about this. That's for the double take mirrors off. You need to take the mirrors off. You need an 8 mil spanner. You need a Torx 25 for removing the screw that holds the levers in place of the bike, and you need an 8mm drill to push out the little sleeve that you need to put back into the new levers. And I just used 2 planks of wood, but you can use a vise. I wanted to use the wood because I didn't want to scratch the levers, and you just sort of, you know, push the sleeve out. That's about all you need. The nylock nuts do the job on the way back. You don't need to put Loctite or anything like that. So yeah, it's quite simple, and they are fantastic, absolutely fantastic.